The Fontainebleau Hotel and Casino is one of Las Vegas's newest attractions, but what is it really like to stay here? Today, I am in one of the suites at the Fontainebleau Casino, and we are going to be doing a full review on the resort. Welcome back, everybody, to the Cowboy Slot Channel. My name's Brantley. I'm a slot tech, and on this channel, I give you guys tips, reviews, and advice on how to better your slot play and better your overall time at the casino, and occasionally we do these resort reviews. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell to stay notified for when the next video comes out. So it's not every day that we do a resort or a casino review, but occasionally I like to toss one in there, especially when a place stands out. Las Vegas has hundreds of resorts to choose from, so how do you know which is going to be the best one? And also which resort is going to fit your style the best. Fontainebleau opened not too long ago. It is Las Vegas's newest resort, and I'm actually here in one of those suites today, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. Now, this is my second stay here at Fontainebleau, so I'm going to kind of go over some of the pros and some of the cons of the resort. And I've actually had a chance to experience a lot of different things here, everything from the spa, all the restaurants, and I've stayed in 2 different types of rooms. So I'm gonna kind of touch on a little bit of everything here, from the casino to the resort services to the different types of rooms and just the general atmosphere of the hotel, so that you can decide if it is going to be the best fit for you. So we can't talk about Fontainebleau without talking a little bit about its history. So Fontainebleau, while they are new to Las Vegas, they are not new to the game, especially the game of luxury resorts. Now, while this location in Las Vegas is their very first casino, it is not their very first resort. Their first resort is actually in Miami, Florida, and it was built in the 50s. Not only was it built in the 50s, but it has always remained one of the top premier luxury destinations in Florida to visit. Also, in addition to that, their Miami location is actually on the list of National Register of Historic Places for its architecture. It's really, really a cool resort. So while Fontainebleau might be new to Las Vegas, they are not new to the game of luxury, and it really does show. So let's start with category number 1, and that first category is going to be customer service. Being that customer service is going to carry the most weight, and it's going to be how I grade a resort, it's going to be the category that I nitpick the most on. Why is that? Well, because regardless of what services or what amenities you offer or what games you offer or anything like that, customer service can make or break somebody's experience. Now, I will say this about customer service, especially here at the Fontainebleau, and this section is typically the longest, but it's actually going to be the shortest for this video, because I will just say this flat out. I have never once had a bad experience with any staff member at the Fontainebleau, whether that has been a cleaner, whether that has been somebody in the hallway, just a random staff member, whether it's a maintenance person, a casino floor worker, a restaurant staff person. All of these people have just been absolutely phenomenal. It really makes you wonder what kind of customer service training that Fontainebleau actually implements, because whatever they're doing works. Every single staff member always seems to have a smile on their face. It's always a my pleasure. It's just over the top. I can't say enough good things about the customer service here at the Fontainebleau. So for this category, I've got to just straight out give it a perfect 10 in terms of customer service. Now, let's briefly touch on environment of the resort, and this is typically not something that I have ever covered, but it is really kind of important to know, especially if you're coming to Las Vegas and you're coming to Fontainebleau for the first time and you're not sure what to expect. From the moment you walk in the door to every single aspect of the Fontainebleau, you automatically get that feeling that this is made to be a high-end luxury resort. Pretty much everything at the resort is going to cater to that high-end clientele. And I know some people out there are like, yeah, but the Wynn is upscale and Resorts World is nice and Aria. No, 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 no. I have been to all of those properties, and I'm telling you right now, Fontainebleau is far beyond that. It is very, very upscale in everything that they do. Every single detail of the resort, down to the cleanliness of the casino floor and everything, and even seeing the people that are out taking care of the resort, is damn near perfect. It is immaculate on almost every single level. So you might think that someplace like the Wynn is nice, or the Wynn is also upscale. Fontainebleau really takes it to a completely different level, and it's just one of those environmental things. If you walk in and The minute you walk into Fontainebleau, you know you're in a high-class establishment. And I think a lot of that has to do with their history, just the fact that they've been doing this since the 50s, and they have been in that upscale business for a very, very long time, and it shows. So if you do decide to come to Fontainebleau, just know that it is a very upscale establishment. Everything is upscale, from the rooms to the restaurant, even to the casino floor, which we're gonna get into now. So let's talk about the casino floor and the options for games. For starters, again, building on the previous category, this resort was clearly made for high-end clientele. It is very, very much a high rollers casino. So Fontainebleau does have penny games. They do have lower denomination games, but that is not their bread and butter. Most of the games on their floor are going to be newer games. Believe it or not, the only classic slots that they do have, being the older classic games like the S2000s, are actually going to be pinball and top dollar. Those are the only classic games that you're going to find here, and the lowest denomination on those is going to be a $5 denomination on the main floor, or you can go to the high limit room and you have the option of a $25 denomination, $50, $100, or a $500 denomination slot machine, going up to $1,000 per spin. This is one thing that I did notice being a slot technician myself and coming to this casino, is the older games that they do have, even those old S2000 pinball machines and top dollars, before they brought those games in here, they completely refurbished them. They have brand new reel strips, brand new glass. Even though the machine itself was made in the 90s, it looks like it just came fresh off the factory floor. These things are impeccably clean and impeccably perfect. So Fontainebleau really takes the additional time and care to really get all of those details right. And that's one thing that I noticed right away, right off the bat when I came into this casino. Heading out onto the main floor of the casino, I will say this, they do have a very good selection of games. Pretty much all of the newest games that are available, they have here, including all of the newest Huff and Puffs, the newest Dragon Caches, all of those. They have all of those games here as well. They just don't have very many of the classic games. If you're looking for the classic old school games, the only ones that they're gonna have is pinball and top dollar. But aside from that, they do have all of the newest titles, and they have a really good selection of it. And again, that casino floor is impeccably clean, and it's very well laid out too, so it's also a comfortable gambling experience. I would highly recommend, if you are coming to Las Vegas to gamble, especially if you are looking for those newer games, come over to Fontainebleau, because it is a much comfortable, much quieter gambling experience. Even out on the main floor, you're not gonna have a whole bunch of kids running around. The machines aren't crammed together. It's not all the hustle and bustle and commotion of the main strip. So if you're one of those people like myself that you like a quieter, calmer gaming environment, and you like to have your pick of games, and you don't want to be sandwiched in between somebody or surrounded by a whole bunch of cigarette smoke or anything like that, Fontainebleau is really the place to be. Overall, just recapping, and I'll go over some of those pros and cons about the casino. Overall, it is one of the best casinos that I have ever played at. It is comfortable, it's clean, it's well laid out. They have a great selection of games. It's really just the best overall gaming experience. That's really the pros. The only downside to that is if you are a low roller, if you are somebody that maybe you are only going in with like $100 or so, this probably is not going to be the casino for you. Again, this casino really is designed more towards the higher end clientele, and that shows in almost every aspect of it. While they do still have low rolling games, they do not have very many of them. Most of them, like I said, if you're looking to play a game like pinball or top dollar, if you're looking to play those older classic games, the minimum is going to start at $5 at a $5 denomination. So it would be 10 bucks a spin or 15 bucks a spin, depending on if you were playing the 2 credit or 3 credit version. And that is the minimum on those games. So just something to keep aware and keep mindful of, especially if you are one of those folks out there that are working with a smaller budget. Aside from that, it is a wonderful, fantastic casino, and I absolutely love it. Let's talk now briefly about accommodations. So I've had 2 trips to the Fontainebleau so far, and I have stayed in 2 different rooms. The very first stay that I ever stayed here was actually, I got invited to stay in one of the fleur-de-lis suites, which is one of their top premier luxury accommodations. It even comes with a butler and a Rolls Royce that you get to use for the duration of the trip, which I'll kind of add a little bit more to that here in a minute. You walk into the casino and you immediately get that sense of luxury. The rooms are no different. Even if you get a basic room, or especially if you get a suite, this is one of the suites that we are in right now. This is not the fleur-de-lis suite, but it is one of the suites. they are just absolutely phenomenal. So the fleur-de-lis suites are on the top floors of the resort, floors 87 and 88. When you stay in the fleur-de-lis suite, you do have a butler that is there to attend to you for the duration of your stay, as well as a Rolls-Royce that you do get to use. They have a whole fleet of Rolls-Royces that you get to use for the duration of your stay. Other properties such as MGM or the Wynn, they might have a Rolls-Royce pick up a high roller player, but Fontainebleau kind of takes it a step further and allows you to use it for anything that you want to for the duration of your stay. It's kind of your personal car at that point. When I had first stayed in the fleur-de-lis suite, I had that MGM mentality from staying at Aria in the past of like, oh yeah, they provide you a Rolls-Royce, but they just pick you up from the airport and take you back. But Fontainebleau, I didn't realize that yes, you can actually continue to use that vehicle even if you need to go someplace else, even if you need to go to another resort, or even if, say, it's 2 in the morning and you're like, I want to go to Taco Bell. Yes, they will take you in the Rolls-Royce. You will have a personal driver and they will take you to that Taco Bell. Now, the butler service that does come with the fleur-de-lis stay is actually really something cool. These people really do go above and beyond. When I had first arrived, I walked into the room. The butler even took my boots to go get shined and poured me a glass of champagne right there in the room, and was even kind enough to want to unpack my bags, take my laundry to go get cleaned. They really do go above and beyond, way much more than any other resort in Vegas. Bottom line, if you are looking for high-end luxury or just that one trip that you want to be pampered with, Fontainebleau is the place to go, hands down. It beats the Wynn, it beats Resorts World, it beats MGM's best accommodations, it beats all of them, hands down, without a doubt. And even if you are staying in a basic room, the accommodations are very nice. Again, this is a luxury resort, so anything, even the most basic of room, is going to be upscale. It's going to be nice, it's going to be clean, and you are going to still get all of that really great customer service that comes along with it. So accommodations, A+, hands down. So let's talk about comps and how comps compare. So let's talk a little bit about comps and how comps compare. If you're used to, say, MGM or Caesars, what are the comps like here at Fontainebleau? When it comes to comps, we also have to go back to what we were saying before of this resort is really designed and catered to that higher end clientele. When it comes to the high-end comps, so if you are a Noir member of MGM, if you are a 7 Stars member of Caesars, if you come here and you get Royal status, the Royal benefits far surpass what MGM, Caesars, Resorts World, Wynn, Venetian, all of those places, it far surpasses them. For high limit players, benefits such as free play, food comps, accommodation upgrades, those are actually going to be substantially greater than MGM offers, or Caesars, or the Wynn, or the Venetian. They really do go above and beyond, especially for those high limit players. If you are out there watching this and you have any kind of a high status with other casinos, again, we're talking Noir with MGM, 7 Stars with Caesars. If you are a high roller out there in Las Vegas especially, and you have not yet come to the Fontainebleau, I'm telling you right now, your perks and your benefits and your comps here are going to far outweigh anything that you would ever get or even have to beg to ask for at some of those other resorts. Now, as for the average gambler, as for everybody else out there, if you're not a high limit player, the benefits are still very good. They're comparable to most of the other casinos out there. You can still earn really good offers and points and stuff as you go along. One benefit that I do really enjoy with Fontainebleau is, unlike some of the other properties, you don't have to come here and play and then wait a really long time to get an offer in the mail or get something emailed to you or anything like that. The offers actually update pretty quickly based on your previous stay or your previous play session. So if you come in on a Monday, say for example, and you play a whole bunch and then you leave Las Vegas and fly back home, probably the next week you'll have an offer. You don't have to wait months on end or weeks on end or have to check any kind of an app or an email or anything like that. You'll get a pretty good offer pretty quickly. Building onto comps, Fontainebleau has what is called Blue Points, which Blue Points kind of work like your express comps at MGM or your comp points anywhere else, where they're basically points that you can utilize for anything that you need at the resort. This could be things like food. You can use it at the spa. You can use it pretty much anywhere except for the salon here. So if you are looking to get your hair done or anything like that, you can't use it there, but you can use it at the spa or anywhere else. Which, now let's get into the spa and some of the other things that the resort has to offer. The spa at Fontainebleau is actually really, really good. I have used it twice on just this trip alone using my Blue Points, which you can use at the spa, which there is a drawback to this though, and this is going to be the one negative thing about this review that I'm going to get into when it comes to the spa and using Blue Points. But we'll get into that in a minute, but for now let's talk about the spa. They do offer pretty much everything that you would expect from a spa, everything from facials, massages, there's saunas, there's steam rooms, there's pools, all of that you get with the spa treatment. And again, I can't say it enough, that luxury factor comes out. You walk into the spa and it's immediately, you know, it's my pleasure. Here's your robe, here's your slippers, everything, you know, the flavored waters, the snacks, all of that. They really do go above and beyond. So if you're coming to the Fontainebleau, I would highly recommend checking out the spa. It is really, really cool. So if you are coming out to the Fontainebleau, make sure to check out the spa. The one good thing that I will add to it is the spa does not seem very difficult to get into. A lot of times you can do accommodations same day, which you really can't do at many of the other resort properties. So there is that. That is a huge benefit. But now let's talk about the drawback and the one negative thing that I have. This is the only hiccup that I have ever had with the Fontainebleau. So I'm hoping that the Fontainebleau resort people are watching this and maybe they can send me an email to clarify this a little bit more. But let's get into the spa and points with the spa. So this minor gripe is going to kind of be over two things. The first being the Blue Points, which are the points that you can use resort-wide, and the second being the spa. First things first, at any other property that you go to, whether it is MGM or Caesars or anything like that, if you have points that you can use on your card, it is normally very simple. You just walk up to a place and say, I'd like to use my points. They slide your card, have a great day. Most places at Fontainebleau are going to be like that. If you go to the coffee shop or if you go to a restaurant, you just hand them your card and say, I'd like to use my Blue Points, and swipe and they're done and have a great day. Except for the spa, and I don't know why this is. So with the spa, you are allowed to use your Blue Points. That is part of the benefit. You can use your points towards the spa. But this has happened to me now on 3 different occasions because I've been to the spa a total of 3 times, and it has happened every single time with different staff members, which leads me to believe that maybe it is something with the system or something like that. But I go to check in and they say, okay, you know, how would you like to pay for it? Would you like to do room charge, whatever? I hand them my card. I said, I'd like to use my Blue Points. Should be pretty simple. Slide your card, have a good day. Not at the spa. For some reason, they're like, oh, okay, well, we still have to charge the room, but then you can use your Blue Points. So I got confused and I'm like, okay. So the first time I just had them charge the room and I'm like, okay, whatever. Well, I got billed for the whole thing. None of it came off my points. So this time I was a little more cautious. Went back to the spa and was like, okay, I'd like to use my Blue Points on this. The lady explained to me, she's like, okay, so you have to charge it to the room first and then apply your Blue Points to that. But she told me, she said, you have to go to the front desk and have them apply the Blue Points. So I said, okay, I will do that. Charge it to the room. I go to VIP services, to the VIP check-in, and I said, hello, I would like to apply my Blue Points to the spa. To which she responded, she's like, we can't do that here. You have to go to your host. So I'm like, good Lord. It's one big go around just to use your Blue Points at the spa. So finally I had to go to my casino host, and even the host said, well, I have to go through the back end and we have to do all these things. So I'm like, Jiminy Christmas, you should just be able to slide your card and use your points. I don't know why the spa in particular has to be that difficult. No other place is. So here's what you want to do. If you do decide that you want to use your Blue Points at the spa, you do have to have a host, and then have the host do it and make sure to follow up on it so they actually apply your Blue Points. Long story short, they did make it right. They did finally apply my Blue Points, but it took like 2 days of this back and forth to get it to apply to the spa. Don't know why that is. Fontainebleau. Fix that. And I know you can't use it at the salon, which, I mean, you know, not that I would need to or anything like that. I don't have long, luxurious hair to cut, so I don't need the salon. But the spa, I do use the spa. I use the spa every single time I come here, and on this trip, I've used it twice. So those blue points are important for me to be able to use that, and I don't know why it is always this big runaround every single time. That's the only gripe that I have to say about the Fontainebleau. Everything else has been phenomenal. Everything else has been fantastic. It's been great, but using blue points at the spa is really the only hang up in this equation. So that is the negative. That is the one downside of the Fontainebleau if you stay here, is just the blue points. Using the blue points, it can be kind of tricky in a sense. It's not like the other resorts where it should be easy, where you just slide your card and have a good day. Here it's a little bit more difficult, I would say, in certain aspects. Okay, so in this section, we're going to touch briefly on the food and dining options, and also we'll kind of touch on shopping, but not go too in-depth into it. One thing to keep in mind is Fontainebleau is still, as of the recording of this video, they've opened less than a year ago, so a lot of the stuff is still being worked on. Not a lot of the shops are open. However, all of the restaurants are open, and fortunately, I have been able to dine at almost every single restaurant except for Poppy Steak. That is the only one that I have not dined at yet, but everything else I have. If you are looking for breakfast, I would recommend Vita. Vita is a restaurant that is located just off of the casino floor. It's very, very good. It's great food. The prices are reasonable. The service is extremely fast. And usually there's never a wait to get in, which is really, really something cool, especially in the early morning hours or even during breakfast rush. You can still get in fairly easily. Again, food is reasonably priced. It's really good. Staff is friendly. Staff is fast. If you're looking for breakfast, Vita is definitely the place to be for that. Now for lunch and dinner, you do have several different options. There is one of my favorites, which is Mother Wolf. Mother Wolf is an Italian restaurant. It is very, very good. It's pretty dang close to Michelin star. That's just my personal opinion of it. They make all their own pasta in-house. It is very good. Prices are also fairly reasonable. There's also the steakhouse, Don's Prime, and then of course Poppy Steak, which I have not eaten at. Don's Prime, I will say this, it was an okay steakhouse. It wasn't mind-blowing the best, but it was okay. The environment was really nice. Staff was super friendly, super fast. Presentation was good. The food was cooked right. Just for me, I've had better steaks elsewhere. For steaks in Las Vegas, you got to go to Gallagher's at New York, New York. That still is going to be the best steakhouse, at least according to me, in my personal opinion. Komodo is an Asian-style restaurant. It is very good. I had it for dinner last night. Be mindful, though, that the portions are very small, so when you order something, you might have to order 2 or 3 things. That's what our table had to do. You know, we all got one thing, and it was so delicious, but you know, you order the dumplings, and they come out, and there's like 4 of them or 5 of them, and they're very small. So be mindful of that. You might have to order more than one thing when you go there, but the food was phenomenal. Environment was really nice. Again, staff top-notch friendly. But yeah, great restaurant if you're looking for Asian flair. They've got that here as well. As for shopping, we're not going to touch too much on it. I will just say this. One thing that was kind of odd to me that Fontainebleau does not have, which is, I know this is kind of weird, but this is me personally. So I am not a cigarette smoker by any means. I don't smoke cigarettes. I don't smoke cigars, but I do dip chewing tobacco. They don't have it here anywhere at the resort. I find that weird because you can go to any other casino, any other resort, and you can get chewing tobacco, but you cannot get chewing tobacco at Fontainebleau. So if you're like myself and you are a chewing tobacco user, bring your own, because you will not be able to find it here at Fontainebleau at one of those little shops or anything like that. If you're a cigarette smoker, you can get cigarettes, just not chewing tobacco. Don't know why that is. Maybe Fontainebleau just doesn't like it. All right, finally, let's do a really quick recap on the Fontainebleau. Overall, I will just say this. I have made Fontainebleau now my #1 stop, my #1 go-to for accommodations here in Las Vegas. The casino is much quieter, it's much cleaner, it's much nicer, it's much friendlier than any other place you would go. You go to a casino on the Las Vegas Strip at, say, any MGM property, any Caesars property, the Wynn, the Venetian, anything like that. It's crowded, it's loud, it's smoky. It's not like that here at Fontainebleau though. The casino is just an overall better gambling experience, but you do have to be mindful. Again, you're looking at higher limits, higher budgets, so just keep that in mind. In terms of accommodations, Fontainebleau has hands down the nicest accommodations anywhere on the Strip. I have stayed at the top of the line rooms at other resorts. I will not name names of those other resorts, but I have stayed at some of the top line, top tier, high class rooms that some of the other resorts offer. And I will say, especially with Fleur de Lis really does blow that out of the water. And even the basic accommodations here at Fontainebleau are very, very nice. Overall, it is a much better experience, a much better place to stay, in my opinion. You want something that you're like, you know what, maybe I do want to dress up a little bit. Maybe I do want to go out and experience something really, really nice. Fontainebleau is the place to go. Hands down. And then really quickly, just to recap those negatives, the only downside that I will say, the only hiccup that I have ever had staying here at Fontainebleau is just the blue points and the application of the blue points. That's the only really hang up that I've had. Also, the other thing, which is kind of weird to note, some of the offers, when they give you food and beverage credit, it is a daily credit limit rather than a lump sum for your trip. So it's a use it or lose it per the day. So you do have to be careful, read your offers on that, because my offer, they gave me 300 dining credit per day. I really don't like that. I would just rather prefer just give me the whole lump sum for dining credit rather than breaking it up into $300 increments per day. I think that is a little weird, but that is just how they do things. Some of their offers are not like that, others are, so just make sure to read the fine print of your offer if you do get one from them to see if it has any kind of stipulations like that on it. Overall, I will say this, I am highly impressed with the Fontainebleau. Of every single resort property I have ever stayed at, it gets an A+ from me. I absolutely love everything about this place. I really plan on staying here every single time that I come to Vegas. I've personally, I've always been an MGM player for years, and to be honest, the benefits here at Fontainebleau far outweigh anything that MGM has ever given me. So I'm just kind of ditching that and moving everything over here to Fontainebleau. That's me personally. And maybe you're watching this and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna stay at Fontainebleau the next time I come to Las Vegas, and I wanted to learn a little bit more about it. Now you kind of know a little bit about what to expect. So anyway, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you so much. Please do give this video a like, a subscribe would be nice, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks so much for watching. Check out these other videos and be sure to subscribe to the channel for more slot tips. It's always free. Visit ropethejackpot.com for free guides and a whole lot more. Catch you on the next episode.